Today I wanted to talk about AMC first because, as you know, AMC had a rough day today. AMC tanked down minus 9% yesterday. And I want to start with this post today. Let me bring this one here. About 380 people are watching right now. Thanks for watching. It's too late, but I'll be quick tonight. So I'm gonna start with this post. So this is my post on June 25th, which was about a week ago exactly. And then I've been kind of talking about this also, like June 24th as well. We could see a final dip coming on, somewhere here. I know the market maker, as you see the fractals, and then I kind of kindly point out, this fractal has been complete, and this is exactly what market makers wanted to run. I know the fact that AMC is already entering the squeeze phase, but the fact that I learned that we're not in 2021 a January type of environment. The market is completely different, right? Back then they have a lot of liquidity as Fed prints a lot of money, but right now it's opposite, right? So there's no liquidity in the market. So and that's the fact. And obviously the market makers are delaying this thing, and also we're about to see a giant short squeeze here, and then I'm talking about this, but it's not gonna be finished just one or 2 months. This thing will last for until next year, okay? And market will tank really hard, especially the next year in 2026 between January to August. That's the final short squeeze phase, and I can't predict when will be the final short squeeze phase, but I'm just letting you know between 2026 and January, and then August will be the final short squeeze. Like, it's a big one. But we're gonna, after we went through this phase, as you see, this is when you look at the right side, that's May 20 last year, GameStop, right? This is right before 50% rally happened. And then when Roaring King came back on mid-May, that's when you see the final short squeeze phase. What I'm trying to say is they're making a huge squeeze here. I'm talking about, like, it's not like AMC is going for like just like maybe a $40 or something. This is AMC can hit like 100. Okay, it can be 1,000. I don't know, but it's gonna be. That's why I think there's several reasons why they're delaying it. The first thing is, as I said, the markets are really dry. There's no really liquidity. And then the second one is, that's the first one, and the second reason I think is because they're making a huge run, right? So they're like maybe accumulating, maybe they need more time. Market makers continue delaying it, right? But the fractal is creating now, and then it start with AMC today. And I think GameStop will be next. Okay. Obviously, this is not financial advice, but I think based on this fractal and GameStop, I think needs to also acquire a company, right? They can't just sit on like a $1 billion cash doing nothing. That's what Larry Chang said, right? Larry Chang said, "Hey, Zoom is on this company Zoom. They're sitting on like bunch of billion cash, but they're not. They're sitting on doing nothing. They should acquire something, right?" So I think Larry Chang mentioned that before, and I think GameStop will do something here. And I know there's some speculation right now since last weekend. Donald Trump mentioned that there's investors for TikTok, and TikTok was also mentioned in Teddy books. So I don't know if that will be the case. To be honest with you, I don't know. That I can't really see that. If GameStop or Teddy will acquire TikTok. But what I can tell you is the fractals tonight. So this anyway. So go back to this post. This is the fractal they're running, And exactly today, they tank it down about this much, right? They fill all this gap here. You see, I'm gonna zoom out there. So this is last week's post, guys. You see, AMC was here. Basically, AMC pushes up here, right? And they tank it down, and they fill all this gap here, right? And GameStop also have a gap, same spot. So I think GameStop will be the next, and I think GameStop will acquire a big company. I think it will be about several $billion company. I don't know if that's BBBY. I don't know if that's TikTok. I don't know if that's something, but I think it's something like PSA. I think PSA should be good, you know, because PSA is a several $billion. I think I checked. It's like the company worth is like somewhere between $1 to $4 billion. I think $4 billion is a little too much. But somewhere between maybe 2 to 3 billion may be good, right? And then, but anyway, I'm just mumbling here. But that's kind of what you see here. So I pointed out already last week that AMC could potentially have one more downside before heading in for first a large massive dump wave, and second dump, and then third, and then heading a giant rally. When the giant rally happened, that giant rally will be about 300 to 400% rally. Okay, so as you can see here, GameStop will have one more. It's gonna dip one more time, like AMC. Okay, and I think that's due to a large acquisition coming next Monday. And then GameStop will hit 2021 January squeeze top pick, which is about 125 level, in my opinion, not financial advice, which means that this is a fractals from last year May, guys, and they're making a huge fucking run. Okay, and this is not only GameStop, this is for AMC, this is a whole basket stock. It will be probably cost, it will be also for FFAI. Okay, and then technically, you know, it makes sense this way because they, in order to break that 2020 January squeeze level, they must retest that level, right? They can't just squeeze and fucking break that whole thing. They must retest that level, and I think it makes sense with this fractals and size and what they're making. So the bigger dip there will be, the higher it will get in that squeeze, right, in the rally. So that's why there will be, I think, one more dip, and then they're gonna have a much more stretched out fucking rally, and that will be triggered by this date is, by the way, it's wrong. So this is old post. You know, there's the market makers are definitely stretching out. So I'm just showing you, just visualization of what will happen. But and then you're gonna see a giant short squeeze over there later. I think that will come end of the year, or maybe I think end of the year might be too soon. With this time and speed, I think it might be next year. Next year, I think I'm thinking maybe somewhere between March, April, or August, if this goes that far. But I don't know. Anyway, so let's go back to show you what happened to AMC, and as I show you guys the post just now, previous post, that's what happened. Well, that's what I was expecting. And what I expect actually happened today. So let's go back to the post I made today. Where's my post here? Oh, this one. So I said, hey, don't be surprised if it will dip. Don't be surprised if there's a dip about minus 20, minus 10%, another maybe potential another offering. You know, maybe GameStop, AMC. AMC tanked 99%, and the AMC did some sort of a dilution. It's like so you know, they did some sort of a with the creditors, you know, they did a senior notes or something like that. You know, basically I think they sell bonds or something, isn't it? And then they right now how much was it? Equivalent of about $300 million, right? So yeah, approximately 200 million new money. So yeah, they got about $200 million new money financing, right? So they got finance, and they're trying to, like, raise money, and then that perfectly creates this fractal here. As you can see, I'm gonna zoom this one out. So from my post last week compared to that, right, this was my post. There's a potential pullback, and bam, there you go. It matches, right? So now you understand the market makers are using same fractal. This confirms this confirms me that they're gonna run this way. I mean, I'm not saying it will run, but I think it will run like that. Okay, so of course, obviously, you have to do your own due diligence and research and other stuff, but this is just my opinion, so nothing I said is financial advice. But I think, as you can see, the way they, push things up, pull back, and all these things I'm showing you, partial fractals, and how they, it match with last year May, and they're just making a huge fucking run right now. It's much more stretched out version of last year fractals, and I think there's a reason why I've been mentioning that why Roaring Kitty came back last year, and he didn't just come back to create. He just didn't come back to just grab money. He came back with a purpose. The purpose is to create a fractals, and right now they're using this fractal. So now you can see the confirmation of how the market makers and maybe the long forces are making this thing right now. So this thing just hit $2.95, fill this gap here, $2.95. So that was completely filled. And they also touched this $2.80 gap here. So all these gaps are filled. It's good to go. However, as I mentioned, GameStop acquisition is left. If GameStop acquisition happen, GameStop will tank a lot, right? At least it'll go down minus 20%, as what you see from private offering, right? GameStop did a private offering of up to a $2 billion, and how much it went down? It went down minus 20 something percent. And what happened to AMC? AMC also followed. AMC follows and drop about minus 9 or 10%, and that's the spot here. So I think AMC has still one more downside due to GameStop large acquisitions coming on July 7th, on Monday next week. And then after that, this thing will go for a large thump wave, and second thump and third thump wave. I haven't got the I can't tell you which date this thing will happen, but I'm trying to see when the acquisition will first happen with GameStop, and then I can sort of sketch out when we the first dump. But based on this fractals and the speed, and possibly, let's say, assuming that GameStop is going to announce acquisitions on July 7th, and with this speed, it's possible. And we have a July OPEX week is coming on July 18. I do believe that that's the OPEX date. So I think we could see a first dump on a week of OPEX week, I think, right? It makes sense, and then they can tank it down. And also, I know there's FMC's meeting coming up, and I think July FMC is going to be quite important, because I think there might be a so July 29th, 30th. Okay, so that's the week. Okay, so interesting. So I think they're gonna, I think maybe that's the, okay, so FMC is here, so that's very interesting. I think this will be the rally might be the trigger by either FMC or maybe GameStop. So FMC is July 29. Usually FMC is around mid of the month, like this. I mean, it depends, but usually, like, yeah, mid of the month. But I guess sometimes it's end of the month too. So July 30 is when the Powell speaks. So what I'm seeing here, based on this speed, I think the rally can kick off around July 28th. So so July 30th might be here. But this is, like I said, this is sketch. Don't buy calls right now. I think there's gonna be one more dump, in my opinion. So just be careful with your calls. 1 second. So this is, I'm just sketching out, guys. Don't look at this as a final date once again, because I know people been watching this and then they say, hey, you keep changing your date. And you know what, this, you gotta, if you're a trader, you have to adjust the market makers the decision. Like if that's what you see, you have to be fast, otherwise you're gonna lose all your money. So you just have to make a decision really fast and adapt, right? Like a soldier. You gotta be a soldier sometimes. You gotta be fast. You have to adapt to the environment, right? Anyway, so this gap is filled now. So I'm gonna show you the gap here in AMC. So 1 second here. 1 second. I'm gonna show. Okay, so this gap here, you see. You see this gap here. Yeah, this gap is now filled, so it's good. The second gap here, this gap is also filled. But you know what's funny? They left the gap here. Boom. You see what, you know what I mean? They left the gap. You fucking market maker. You know what that means? They're gonna come up and come down to fill this gap again, right? So you know that they're gonna come down one more time. So when you see the AMC try to push this up again, that's a fake out. When GameStop announced acquisition news, like large acquisition news next Monday, this thing is going to tank one more time. AMC will follow GameStop anyway. So AMC will possibly tank based on this fractal about 9%, which means that GameStop, last time when GameStop tanked about 20 something percent, right, back here with a private offering, let me see how much was it. This one was about 24%, and AMC, hold on 1 second, this is June 11th. So AMC tank June 11th about 8%. So so that's about 24%. So we can actually calculate right now. So 20, let's say just round it up as a 25 divided by how much was it? AMC tank when it was 11th here. So let's say 8%. So you divide by 8. So roughly three times AMC. I mean GameStop will tank 3 times more than AMC. So which means that AMC can tank about 8%. So you add 8 times and 25%. So if you apply let's say 20 something percent, 25%, that's about $16.70. I don't know. Yeah, I'm just speculating, but there's a gap there, $17. So I think there might be I don't know, there might be possibly they might come down to fill this gap like AMC, right? So I'm just letting you know. I might be wrong, right? I might be completely wrong, and I was wrong a lot of times, but sometimes I got it right. So I'm just letting you know this is the final phase that and once you see this thing tank, that will be the final bottom, and make sure you start to, I mean, I can't say you can start to load calls, but I'm just letting you know once you see that drop, and that GameStop is a higher value than $17 or $18. So I'm pretty sure a lot of people start to buy shares or calls and stuff like that. But anybody, I've been mentioning this yesterday that people start to get excited, right? People start to get excited, and I posted this one yesterday. People are getting excited, and I warn people. Where did I post something here? Yeah, I said here, please be careful with buying calls at this level. Okay, right? There's a lot of FTDs, there's a swap, all that stuff. There's a lot of hype right now that GameStop can, run. But I said there's no squeeze or there's no run if they just sit on a chunk of cash, right? They must acquire something like PSA, okay? Create a catalyst for and then the catalyst that force short sellers to run this thing to cover. And then both of GameStop and AMC have about 2 gaps down below for reasons, right? And yesterday, AMC filled those gaps, right? And they left the gap one more time because they're gonna come down one more. If some major crash from SPY or GameStop acquisitions from July 7th on Monday will bring the stock down one more time before stirring off engine for rally. So please be cautious. So I hope people, really be cautious about buying calls at this point. I think you have to be a little bit patient, even if you wanna, gamble or throw some money to buy calls. I mean, buying call options for like October or later in December, maybe next year January might be, it'll be safe, I think. But still, you can get a much more cheaper premium, right? You can get a better deal when you see GameStop tank minus 20%. So yeah, just be patient. I know a lot of people don't like to see, even if I get almost a 10k views, I only get 19 likes, 18 likes. So people don't like to see this because they rather want to see a hype chart than short-term downside, because it seems negative. But you can also make money with the put option, if you want to do that. So that's up to you. That's how you want to trade, if that's when you want to play, right? But anyway, I'm just looking at the 2 directions, and then I think it's going to tank one more, and GameStop I think needs to acquire something in order to make some big movement here. So that's something I wanted to show you today, and let's go back to AMC. So now AMC finished creating all this thing here, the first, second, and third, right? As you can see, and now they're at this spot where this thing now come down and fill those 2 gaps. And this is not done, there's gonna be one more time, and that will be the trigger, I think, by GameStop acquisition next week. So let's take a look at also 1 second. I'm gonna show you whole RSI and MACD as well. I'll walk you through this one as well, so you guys can you guys know where AMC is at. So I'm gonna grab the GameStop chart. Go back to go back to last year, May. Okay, there you go. We're still here. Holy shit! Like how long they're taking to create this? Like crazy, man. Like this was done for like okay, I'm curious, just 1 second. So this was from here to right now, we're about here. 8 days. It took 8 days to create this fractal. Right now they're taking, how many days is it? That's crazy. Like 60 days. That's fucking crazy. Like how big is it? Is this like almost like 8 times? 62 divided by 8, 7 times. Crazy. Like that's fucked up. That's how slow it is, but they're gonna run big time, guys, right? Because from here to here, this went up 20%. From here to here, this went up about 50%. So they're making a roughly 2 times bigger, about 2.65 times bigger. So, and this rally was about 50%, right? 55%. So that's about 145. So I think it will be bigger. Yeah. How much is it? 145. I think it should be bigger. We'll see. I don't know. I think they're making a bigger run. Anyway, so I'm gonna show you the RSI and MACD. So as you can see, this green one is this one and this one, right? So this is 45 minutes. This is let's say 2 hours. I think 2 hours is better, I think. Yeah. So this goes up like that, it goes up like that, and then boom, right? Tank. And then what you want to pay attention now is you pass the green, you look at the red box where this thing is tanks. So when you look at this yellow line, right? So I'm gonna show you. I think I have to change this one maybe to 4 hours. Yeah, maybe 4 hours might be better. Yeah. So just trying to looking for a line that looks much more simplified and then easy to understand. So this one start to tank here. So this was the first tank, and then it pushes up and come down, right? So that happened here, right? So it somehow pushes up and they tank. It pushes up and tank. It somehow create that, right? I don't know. Maybe I should change to 30 minutes. Maybe I'm just trying to find a way which is easier to look at to compare to the current RSI. I have to just continue to explore this kind of stuff. It's not easy, you know what I mean? So we are here, so we passed the green, so don't look at the green, you don't have to worry about that. So you see now this, so this one, right? So this can go up, boom, right? This is the shape they created, right? So this is the shape they created, and after that this is the second shape. But the when you look at the RSI, I mean, you can look at the shape, but right now the line looks a little different. So you have to find the right something looks similar. I think this might be similar. Maybe 2 hours. Let's check at 2 hours. There you go. Maybe something more similar. Because when you go less than that, it will be much more messy. So maybe this is much more cleaner to look at. So now you see it come down, pushes up, and boom, come down, pushes up, boom. That was this thing, right? So this is complete. So you move on, right? And then what's the next one? This one. This is the fractal. You pushes up and come down a little bit further. Pushes up, come down a little bit further. This RSI was complete. So next fractal left, you have this one, which is what happened was it pushes up, but this is a little odd, right? It has some weird shape. But what was interesting is, as you can see, this tip goes up before tank, right? So that's kind of what they did, right? RSI move up a little bit higher, right? And then you see there's a little bit of a tip. It goes up and boom, that's what you see. So RSI tanked this much in the 3 hours. Let's look at 4 hours. So RSI, it tanks. It goes up a little bit higher, but it followed the fractals. What happened after that? When you look at this, RSI tank here, and then it goes up again, right? It bounced back up, right? That's what happened. It bounced back up, trying to bounce back up. However, I told you that they left the gap again at $2.80, which means that they're gonna come down to fill that gap. There's no gap here anymore, so therefore they left the gap for a reason, right? They have to left a technical gap, and it's gonna bounce back up, I think, next few days. And then when the GameStop announced acquisition news and GameStop tank minus 20%, AMC will tank about minus 8%. So that's what's gonna happen here, in my opinion, not financial advice. So there's a reason why the gap is open. They left the gap open at $2.80 again. AMC, as you can see from here, I'm gonna drop an arrow. After they tank from here at this fractals, and then they pushes up and then come down one more time, right? So once that's complete, then this whole downside is complete. There's not going to be a downside anymore from this level. And after that, you're going to go for the large first down wave, as you can see here. And I expect this could happen on on this OPEX, in my opinion. So that's kind of what I'm expecting, and then maybe have a pullback by the the Friday or Thursday or whatever. It can be quick, so I'm expecting the first dump wave. The second dump wave, we'll see. And then but yeah, we're gonna see step by step. I'm not gonna drop these dates on this one, and obviously this can be delayed, so I'm not gonna drop the date here. But what I'm gonna drop a date here is there's gonna be a FOMC meeting. FOMC meetings on July 30th, so I can say no, I'm not gonna talk about this. Actually, I'm gonna delete this one. I think it's gonna confuse people. So yeah, so but that's for now. That's what I can tell you, because it's yeah, the time is very yeah, the market maker's timing is just, it's hard to read. So but for now, this is kind of my speculation, and I can say confidently that something will happen on July 7th, next Monday, that GameStop will acquire a company, like a large company. And I'm gonna now you see yeah, now you see the whole pattern. And then after this way, based on the calculation, oh, hold on one second, I'm gonna show you RSI, sorry, MACD now, and I'm gonna show you GameStop after this. So I'm gonna show you this one. Okay, let's close this one, maximize the screen. So you see now, let's start with green. So this green, the run happened here, same thing, hit the top, have a pullback, right? Start to have a one more pullback here, and then what happened? Yeah, you know what, delete this one. So now heading into this one, right? So there's a giant the red area happened, right? So that's what you saw there. Come up and come down one more time, and then that's what you saw there, right? Come up one more time. So you see this first bottom somewhere here. You just look at the line here, the blue line. First bottom, go up, push back one more time, right? The stock price come down below, and then stock price come down below this level as well. And then that also indication of this one as well, right? It's the same thing, same spot. Pushes up, come down a little bit low, come down a little bit low. RSI is moving up a little bit, right? Higher. Interesting, right? No, sorry, not RSI, MACD. And then what happened after that? What the hell? So that's confirmed, right? This whole thing is following exactly GameStop last year, pullback before rally. And after that, this thing, okay, here's the funny part. It was short. It was a lot shorter, but look at this. From here to here, they drag it out. This is not something you can predict. The market maker is fucking wrong. And I don't know if this is only market maker. I think maybe they're waiting for something. They're maybe waiting for some timing. I don't know. There's just maybe fighting with the long and maybe shorts, right? I don't think it's just only controlled by a market maker, right? I don't know. I don't know who created these fractals, to be honest. I don't know how they create these fractals. But there must be a signal, right? There must be something that how the fuck they match this fucking fractal here exactly. Although that there's a time difference, right? Although it's dragging out, but the whole fractal is completely matching up. Like, but I don't know. I don't know who's creating this. Like, I don't know. I don't know. It's a fight between market makers and long forces. I don't know. It's just, I don't know. But anyway, you know what I mean. So after you hit this, this thing touches here 3 times, touches here 3 times, pushes up, pull back, pushes up, pull back here. That's where you at. That's what you see here. This is not the final pullback, guys. This is about here. So this thing should be here. Okay, there's gonna be one more pullback because of GameStop. Okay, I think GameStop is going to announce a big acquisition next week. You're gonna find out if I'm telling the truth or not. But obviously, I'm not insider. I'm just speculating everything based on the fractal they're running. Okay, so now you see where AMC is at, right? So AMC could have one more bottom. by next Monday. So just be careful with buy calls, especially the the short dated calls at this point. Once you see this bottom here, I think you're gonna buy. I mean, you're gonna get a much cheaper price. So that's AMC. So as you can see, RSI MACD looks perfectly matching up, and everyone will be curious how much AMC will go for the run, and based on this fractals, AMC can go up to $11 level. I mean, there's a gap here, so I don't know if they're gonna fill that gap, to be honest with you. I hope they do, but yeah, I can't really predict how much it's gonna rally, to be honest with you. But let me just recalculate this one again. So this is 21% and this is about 54. So 54 divided by 21, that's 2.5 times, right? So that was 55. Okay, so 100. Yeah, based on this calculation, let's say based on this rally, this thing expects to have 100 something percent, right? 140%. But to be honest with you, this pullback is much more severe than this one. Okay, so I think, and that's why I don't use this fractal. You know what I mean? Like, let me show you what I mean. If I brought whole fractals here, where's bar pattern? Okay, I'm just copy this. What I'm trying to say is that they're making a huge pullback. You see, the rally might be Okay, 1 second, guys. Yeah, so rally might be here, but the pullback is a lot bigger, which means that they take these fractals here, like how I do, and they're making a huge run. So which means that AMC is gonna have a big run, and with a GameStop too. So I think AMC can at least go 300%, at least to 300%. Okay, let's move to GameStop, and then after that, what happened? Yeah, you gotta watch out for the final short squeeze phase. This thing is gonna hit like crazy. I think this can be, I don't know. I think this can go up even higher. Maybe it says $80, but yeah, maybe it can go higher. We'll see. Yeah, let's talk about this one later. Let's talk about GameStop here. Which one should I start? So GameStop tank, right? I'm not tanked. The GameStop dipped a little bit yesterday, right? It dipped like -2% or something, right? Almost 3%. So a lot of people got hyped yesterday, right? As and I said, be careful with buying calls at this level, because if this thing dipped like fucking 20%, your call will be destroyed. It'll be gone, right? Especially the short dated call. So just be careful. I want to show you something here. So now you see from AMC, right? Now you see how AMC tank, exactly how I saw, right? Oh, come on, man. Jesus. Sometimes I get flattened out. So yeah, so now you see how this thing tank, as I speculated last week, right? I've been mentioning this thing will dip with GameStop. GameStop hasn't dipped yet, but GameStop will have one more dip, as AMC can have one more dip, and this will be triggered by GameStop. And then right now I'm going to show you where GameStop is exactly. So in my opinion, as I mentioned before, GameStop is repeating this run. Sorry, not run. Repeating this cycle. And then I brought the same fractals here, same fractals as this one. Okay, it's the same fractals. And then sometimes this area, I mean, from this to this one ran fast. Okay, so it was this one. So after this one dragged it out a little bit, right? That's why it was kind of difficult to know. Oh, I thought it looks gonna happen this way. Oh, I thought it's gonna drop in July 1st, but they drag it out how they drag AMC, right? So they drag it out this much. And then so you remove this one. So I removed this fractals, and then what I've done was I didn't remove it, I actually stretched it out. So I stretched it out to match. So so I know there's it's very difficult to see, but yeah, you see how this thing was here, and then go up and push down. That was this one, and pushes up 3% day before, and they have pullback. They run it fast here. They start to run fast here. So that means they speed things up right now. So they're ready. They're getting ready. So GameStop is about that. Okay. So you see how Monday it's gonna drop, right? Tuesday, maybe finish on Wednesday. But anyway, next week I'm saying. So now I'm gonna show you with this fractal how they're repeating a same cycle, like they're recycling. So I think this fractals was created on purpose because they want to test it, and also they left the gap here. It's just exactly same spot where there's gap here and there's also gap there. All this gap were filled with the private offering, and then the private offering was about $2.4 billion, right? And they start with a 1.7, but they increase to another. They add another additional 700 million, right? I think there's a reason for it. And then look at this. They left a gap here and here, exactly the same spot, right? Gap here, gap there. This gap filled, and go even further. Look at AMC. There's a gap here, a gap there. It filled, and it will go further. Which means GameStop will go down to $17. Okay, it's possible, or 18 or 17 or something like that. But I think it'll go down like 17 or something, based on this fractal. And that means there's gonna be a shock. There's gonna be a shock. Like it's gonna be like, it's like so huge. The acquisition is gonna be so large that the stock goes down like fucking $17 to $16. That's crazy. So what kind of company they're acquiring? Okay, if you guys, a lot of people speculate it will be PSA, right? And I think it might be PSA. Well, what kind of company they can acquire at this point? And then the board member hasn't bought the shares yet, right? So it's clear sign that he's gonna receive shares for some point, right? And there's speculation that he's going to receive GameStop shares, for the acquisitions. I think it makes sense, right? The shares have to deliver the shares, and then the squeeze rally happened. Anyway, so now you're here. Now you know where it's at. So let's focus on this part. So as I mentioned, it is very difficult to spot the market maker, the speed of Algo. It is very struggle. And I'm gonna show you this one now with RSI first. Start with RSI. So this thing is complete, so I'm not gonna talk about this one. So you see how this thing go up and down? This thing go up and down, right? You start from here, ignore this one. Okay, only focus on this area. Okay. Let me actually just focus on this part. So it goes up, come down, right? You focus on this one, go up, come down, go up. This one was fast compared to this one. As you can see, it dragged it out, right? And come down. And those are the things that you can really spot on, right? Because you don't know when they're gonna create this. And then after that, they ran this one fast, right? So it went up 3% 2 days ago. A lot of people get hyped about it. That's when, and I was like, okay, you gotta be careful, because I know it's coming. People don't like to hear that because it hurts, but it's true. It's a fact. And after that, you see the RSI 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. It touches all there, right? 1, 2. Now this one. So I mean, where's my pen? Yeah, it's this one. So you see now it hits here, 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 hits here, here, right? Here, 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 here. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And what happened? It pushes up, right? That's why you saw 3%. And what happened? I made a post that just be careful, right? Be careful, right? A lot of people get hyped about here because I pointed out we are here, right? 1, 2, 3, right? 1, 2, 3. I mean, I didn't make exact points here, but you know what I'm trying to say. I think I already drew a circle, so just kind of give you guys a spot. We might be here, so be careful by calls because your call will be destroyed, right? People don't like to hear this, right? And then what happened? It dipped, right? And you know what I noticed? Look at RSI. So I'm gonna actually show you something here. 1 second. Okay, so RSI is now here. RSI had a pullback now. RSI also had a pullback from here to here. It looks weird, but it that's what happened. The chart doesn't look like it's pulling back, but that's what happened. Look at this. From here to here, there's a sharper pullback now. So what happened after that? What happened after this pullback? Right? It goes up and tank, and then goes sideways, and after that there's a private offering, and then boom, it tanks like crazy. So I think we're about to experience that within this week and next week. So and then the fact is they speed up now. They speed up the algo since today. Since Monday. Monday, when you see a 3%, they raise the 3% up. This one, since Monday, they run fractal pretty fast right now, right? Because you see how, based on this fractal, it should have actually run this thing this way if they run this way, but instead they're running this thing a lot slower, but they're start to run this area a lot faster. So we are like this. They might be doing this one actually, but anyway, I gotta match with the fractal. So when I match with the fractal with this deep, and then what's the next thing? Yeah, next one is this one. So I'm trying to match with this fractals and speed. So first deep here, the second one, this is the third one, and you might see this type of run, right? I mean this type of pick, right? Goes up, and all of a sudden maybe boom, crash. So tomorrow, if you experience GameStop down up to $22 level, then they're repeating a same cycle as June 10. Okay, and you know what's interesting too? In 30 minutes, this is 10 minutes. You see how the long and short signal appear here? Look at the signal here. I brought in the blue box and then the brown box here just to kind of show you where you at. You see the green the long signal appear here when ran 3%, right, on Monday. Short long signal appear here, ran exactly same percentage, right? And what happened after that? Boom, boom. Short signal appear here today. What happened? What happened in the spot? Short signal appear here today. After that, this thing just tank. So they start to run this thing faster now. They're speeding up the algo. So that's what I wanted to tell you, that they're speeding up this algo since Monday, and with the speed we could see a dip So even this one, they actually speed up here. So we are not, yeah, you see how they made a hook? Exactly the same spot. So we could see this being popped, and boom, it's gonna like, dip like minus. If you see minus a 5 or 6%, and maybe feel this $22.40 gap, then you know this thing is repeating June 10. Okay, and then go sideways, go up and down like that, and then acquisition news drop on Monday, boom, and then go down minus 60, like 26%, and that will be the, I think, final bottom. Look at this MACD. The MACD also shows you a very exactly a similar pattern here. So MACD hit the top after the 3% pop happened on Monday, and long signal also appear here. So MACD also showing you that the MACD, the blue line, hit the top exactly the same spot, and then start to have a pullback. After that, hit the top, start to have a pullback, and then this thing pushes up. So like I said, the MACD, sorry, not MACD, the Algo start to run faster than before. So yeah, the short signal appear here, and then it goes it goes down, and then it goes up, and then have pullback. So that's where it is. So they touches here, it go up and pull back. So they run this thing fast. So now you see the green thing shows up. I think that's where it's at, somewhere maybe. Yeah, somewhere there. Yeah, it shows green. This one. Maybe if I change to 20 minutes, it will show more. Yeah, there you go. So yeah, boom, go up. Maybe it's gonna come down a little bit, and then suddenly in the morning, it's gonna like start to shooting up before they take it down, which what happened here. So maybe go up about 1.7%. Yeah, maybe if you see this thing go up to like, let's say about 1.7 or 1.9, then this thing will like boom go down when the market opens, maybe 9 or 11 a.m., something like that. I think something's gonna happen. Either something's gonna happen from the company, or maybe the market tanks or something. But anyway, so that's kind of what I'm seeing here. So yeah, and once GameStop tank next week from after the acquisitions, like I mentioned, AMC will have one more downside due to the GameStop acquisitions. Exactly same thing what happened on June 12 when GameStop at a private offering, $2 billion through a $2 billion private offering, and AMC also follows. But when GameStop tanks about 20-something%, AMC only tanks about like 8 or 10%, right? So I did a calculation that AMC will go up a little bit and then come down. So it looks like it might come down about 7, maybe 8%. So maybe GameStop will tank about 20-something%. So we'll see, okay? But yeah, that's GameStop. And like I said, GameStop is also tracking this one, and AMC already started, right? AMC already started this one, so they're making a big run here right now, and they're heading for first down wave. Maybe on the OPEX week, maybe Tuesday or something, Tuesday, Wednesday or something. It can be fast, depending on the speed. Again, like I said, I can't really control the algo. I just have to look at it, but just estimate. That's estimate. So based on the estimation, about July 7th, next Monday, when GameStop announced about $2 to $4 billion worth of acquisitions, it will drop and hit fill this gap, like AMC filled this gap today, and then the thing go up, come down, go up, down like that, and then start to have a huge rally. Okay, right now it says September might be the top, but who knows? This can be delayed. You never know. That's why I'm trying to be cautious about this one. I can't really say which day, but this might be a August OPEX week. Yeah, so they might have a run to August OPEX week, and then there's a FMC meeting on July 30th or something, right? July 30th, right? So maybe this is FMC July 30, maybe somewhere here, just throwing some numbers out, just sketching out. So this is whole July. This was June, right? This is July. This is May, April. It's huge, and this might be August. So let's throw a box here. So this is July. Okay. So this is July. And this might be August. There you go. It fits. So August. So yeah, I think it will have a run, like it's not gonna run like within like few days, or few weeks. I think it will have a like a fucking it run within like a certain period, certain months. It's not gonna. I don't think it's gonna run like a couple weeks. Since they're making a huge run, right? So July, maybe it's starting August OPEX, and something happened, and then run again. So my prediction is maybe September is the peak. For now, who knows? It might drag out again, right? So just be careful buying calls. September here, and then drop. So October, maybe November, December, and then January, February, March. So yeah, so maybe March is a peak. I don't know. You're just sketching out, right? You know what I mean? You never know. Maybe some certain parent might be dragged out, right? So, but just breaking down, just kind of see how things gonna have, will move. But August, September. So yeah, just just throwing some sketch. But yeah, first we need to see GameStop drop first. Okay. So don't be surprised if GameStop drop up to this level to fill this gap, $17.50 or 40 cents. AMC did, as you see. People will be like, what the fuck? But I mentioned already that there's possibility that this gap is going to be filled, and they did it, right? They filled this gap from yesterday, and they left the gap here again. They gap up, they're gonna go up, and then make you believe that the downside is done. No, it's not. There's gonna be one more, so they're gonna come down, and this final dip will be triggered by GameStop acquisition. That's my speculation, guys. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. It's a very late night, so thanks for tuning in. What time is it? It's 2:30 a.m. here in the Eastern time, so yeah, I'm already sleepy. I want to go to bed. How many people are watching right now? Oh, almost 700. Holy shit. Maybe there are people watching from Asia, who knows, but yeah, that's pretty much it. So yeah, thanks for tuning in. PP is not sleeping. Jesus Christ, go to sleep, PP. Michael is still, oh Jesus, yeah, everyone's still active, but yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys. Hopefully yeah, let's see. GameStop will go down 5 or 6% tomorrow. If you see that happen, yeah, this thing will definitely tracking this one. So yeah, don't be surprised, and just be safe. Just be careful with your buying call options. Just be patient for now. This is pretty dangerous zone right now. Just be careful, and yeah, have a good night, and then I'll keep you guys updated on tomorrow, and maybe next. Yeah, I'll see you next time. Oh shit, I'm sleeping now. I don't know what I'm talking about right now. I'm so tired. Holy shit. All right, see you guys. Good night. Bye.